Welcome to our latest question and answer session with the Derby Telegraph's chief football writer Steve Nicholson. The first question for Steve this week is about Jeff Hendrick, who returned to the team against Charlton. How did he do, and does he face a battle to win back his regular starting spot?
Yeah, I mean the competition in the squad's fierce at the moment for most positions, especially in midfield. Jeff played against Charlton, came in for Will Hughes, who was unwell. It was Jeff's first start for 3 months. If fans will remember that he got injured at Yeovil, he damaged his ankle, it needed surgery, so he was 3 months out. But he came in. It took him a little while to get going, as you would imagine. That's very understandable. Derby didn't have the best starts to the Charlton game. You know, the home side were on top, but they had to dig in. But the thing with Jeff is he's a strong lad. You know, he's kind of powerful player now, and he gradually got into the game, and I thought he got stronger and stronger. Although in the end he admitted he was basically on his knees at the end because it was his first game for so long. But he's a good player. You know, fans know he's a good player. He was a regular in the side last season. I think when he got injured against Yeovil in August, it ended a run of something like 34 consecutive starts, stretching back a year for him. So a good player in Derby's team. But now, of course, we've seen in midfield the competitions there. There's Will Hughes, there's Craig Bryson, there's John Eustace, who's playing as a holding midfielder just behind those two. And that little triangle, that trio, if you like, is beautifully balanced as well. So real competition, you know, in the competition for Jeff, he knows that. You know, he'll be determined to kind of keep pressing his claim. And so it's going to be interesting how Steve McLaren fits him in, or where he fits him in.
Derby are looking for their 7th consecutive win in the league now. It's been some years since they've managed such a feat. What do you think about that?
Yeah, it's, I mean, it's, you know, 6 wins on the spin in this division. We always have a cliche in this division. Managers say it all the time, players say it all the time. We even write it some of the time. But any team could beat any other team in this division, and it really is that competitive. So to win 6 on the spin is a real achievement, and as you'd imagine, it doesn't happen that often. The last time they won 7, you have to go back to 95-96 season, when Steve McLaren was first team coach under Jim Smith. Derby won 7 on the spin, and of course that season they went up, winning promotion. So yeah, a real achievement, and they play Doncaster this weekend. 7 on the spin would be a fantastic achievement. And all the time they're building momentum with it, they're building confidence. And as I say, it depends whether you believe in omens, good omens, or coincidences. And there are quite a few, you know, between the run they're having now and the run they had, say, in 2006-07 under Billy Davis when they were promoted, and also in 95-96 when they were promoted. So maybe it's all good omens.
The results are going really well at the moment, and Derby seem to be enjoying a little bit of luck in matches now.
Yeah, they are. I mean, first of all, we have to say that they're earning their own luck, I think, you know, because if you're putting pressure on teams and you're getting forward, or you're getting in the area a lot, or you're getting a lot of crosses in, you're going to force errors from defenders. So that's what they're doing first and foremost. But all sides need a bit of luck. Every side needs that kind of good fortune. And I've just been noticing that in certain games, if we think back to the Middlesbrough game, the game was kind of heading for a 1-1 draw. Derby hadn't played particularly well on the night. They held their hands up afterwards. It was a bit of a scrappy performance. And then in the final minute, ball comes in, Connor Salmon seems to get a touch to it. The keeper may have got a touch. Jonathan Woodgate may have got a touch. The ball's looping in the dropping into the net, and it's a fortunate winning goal. But you take that, and when luck's going for you a little bit, you take out all you can get, because there will be times in the season when it doesn't go for you. The Blackpool game at home ended 5-1, but they were 1-0 down at half time. They needed something early second half, and they got a penalty decision on Chris Martin, and to be honest, everyone who's seen it knows, you know, it wasn't a penalty. And again, you take that look, Chris picked himself up, slammed in the penalty, and Derby went on to win 5-1. And then again last weekend, we were at Charlton, and Charlton did well for half an hour. Chris Powell, the Charlton manager, the ex-Rams defender, was really pleased with how his team had played. They could have done with a break, the position they're in, because they're struggling at the moment. And yet Derby get a free kick. Jamie Ward stands over it, curls his free kick. Chris Powell tells us afterwards it was going wide. I'm not too sure about that, but he curls his free kick. The keeper looks like he would have just caught it, and hits the wall, wrong foots the keeper completely and bobbles into the other side of the net. Again, but you need that look, but as I say, I think the harder you try often in football, the luckier you get. You know, and teams who put pressure on opponents, who get balls forward, get in the box, make chances, they are going to force errors, and they're also going to force a little bit of luck here and there. And you're right what you say, Derby are long overdue some luck.
Well, we go into the Christmas programme with 4 matches in 12 days for the Rams. The first up at Doncaster Rovers. How do you see it going?
It's a very important period of the season, the Christmas period, because you get a lot of games in a short space of time. You can really pick up some points. Doncaster's going to be a bit like the Charlton game. You know, before the Charlton game, I felt that Charlton would have to play better than they had been doing, and that Derby would have to dip a little bit for the result to go against Derby. I feel they're very much the same with the game against Doncaster. I heard some quotes, or I read some quotes I should say, from Paul Dickoff, who's manager at Doncaster. I know Paul well from his time here as a player, and he's a fierce competitor, Paul is. He'll really have them fired up for the game. He said they got beat by Leeds 3-0 last time, and he said he was very pleased with the way they played. He felt they were a bit unfortunate. And that can happen in the Championship. You know, you can play well and you can lose games. So it's, you know, people will look at the fixture. The danger for Derby is that, you know, fans may look at the fixture and think, well, we've won 6 on the spin, it's Doncaster at home, here's a 7th win. Once you get into those areas, that's when it becomes dangerous. So you've got to kind of forget that. It's another game, it's the next game, and Derby have to go and win it. Nothing will be presented to them. You know, Doncaster will be fired up. Theo Robinson may well start up front. I'm sure Theo will be looking to get a goal if he can. So again, it's like any other game. It's a tricky game until you make it easier. And but Derby have got enough about them, I feel, playing Doncaster at home to get that 7th win. If they continue to do the right things, if they continue to play with the energy and the tempo, and I keep talking about tempo for this team is absolutely crucial. When they dip below the tempo, they're not the same force. But if they get that tempo going at home, crowd gets behind them, play with energy, they've got enough players on the pitch, I feel, to win the game.